Welcome to Confidence Leads to Success, everyone, where we're going to dive deep into the world of purpose-driven entrepreneurship today with my beautiful guest, Elona Lopari, the CEO of the Life School. With a passion for empowering visionary leaders, Elona and her team provide invaluable guidance in areas such as inner alignment, branding, marketing, sales, and team building, anything that your business needs help, they're there for you. Their mission is to really help you, help every leader to grow legacy in their businesses that make a lasting impact and generate sustainable income. She's also a prolific author with books like Connecting the Dots Backwards and the Purpose Driven Entrepreneurship Journal and Planner. Furthermore, she has cultivated a thriving community of over 30,000 hard-led entrepreneur visionaries, making her a true servant community leader. Get ready to be inspired as we explore the intersection of purpose and entrepreneurship with Elona. Welcome, Elona.
Elif, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for having me here. Looking forward to serve and sharing what I know, hopefully in service for your audience as well.
This is so good to have you here. I know you are a very busy lady and you have been doing so many amazing things. I have been following you for a little while and you are on it. You know, there's no time, no fuck about. You just get on with it. And I love that about you.
I think it's really what you talked about, which is when you discover your purpose, you are so clear, you're so intentional, you work smart, not hard. And it might seem like, you're always on, but for me, it feels good. There's harmony in all the rest of the areas of my life. And I think when you feel fulfilled in all these different areas, I guess the energy shows. So that's, I think, that's my main message also for entrepreneurs, or at least what I've discovered in my life. So now my wish and my vision has become helping people discover that purpose and using the channel of entrepreneurship to make that happen and do more good in the world, because I know personally what it feels like to really live and work on purpose, do meaningful work, and also have meaning behind your living. There's a reason why I wake up every day. And it's a different life.
Beautiful. And it shines through you, you know, you can see with all the work you put in there, your consistency is inspiring. And I'm going to go ask you a question of like, as you talk about the purposeness and entrepreneurship, how can entrepreneurs align their inner purpose with their business goals to create a meaningful and impactful businesses just like you do? What is the secret?
Absolutely. Well, it's really no secret. It's more foundational work because I'm a big foundational kind of person, and I live by life principles. That's what attracts me because building a legacy, life and business, it's a long-term game, right? This is your life's work. So that means that there's no short destination you're reaching. There's no, goal that you meet, then you're like, okay, I achieved that. I think it's making growth your very important value. I discovered that is the beginning of everything. And then the rest of the pieces is the foundational work of clarity. What are
Mhm.
your values? What are you trying to create? Where do you see yourself? If you don't have that clarity for the years to come, it's okay, because the vision, you get clarity on the vision as you do your inner work and as you take action,
Mhm.
which is fine. But having some sort of clarity around the life that you want to create. So being very intentional with that. I share very often my personal story. I'm natively Albanian from Eastern Europe. So my parents migrated here to New York when I was only 15, the oldest of the three, my two siblings. And I was really downloaded the societal blueprint of what, my parents thought it would make us successful, all three of us in our own, in our own vocation, so to speak, and achieve the American dream. And I did a lot of that. I achieved because I thought that's what was going to make me successful, and I was going to
Mhm.
fulfill my parents' legacy, so to speak, because obviously they made such a big sacrifice. So I think as kids, we always want to please our parents. We always want to give back.
Yeah, that's
I,
that's the
I,
truth.
yeah, so I did it for that wrong reason, I would say. I mean, it's great when that motivates you, but I was doing it because I was not very comfortable with my, let's say, with my inner values, and a lot of trauma and healing that I had to go through to figure out that, wait, that success made me unhappy and unfulfilled, because then I started questioning everything and I started feeling a lot of misalignment in my life. And I'm like, wait,
Mm,
what's going on? I thought I did this according by the book. I thought
mhm.
that whatever I was told to do, I did it. I climbed the corporate ladder, very successful career, marketing, sales. Every 2 years, I would just jump up the ladder. And there came a time where universe things started happening, a lot of anxiety around me, a lot of unhappiness around me, a lot of other things started to break down my relationship, my marriage, and all of that. So a lot of different signs that there's more. Now you got to go within. You achieve success from what the outside defines society and family, meaning well. Obviously my parents mean well, they want to see me happy
Of
because,
course they do.
and that
Of
was
course
their
they do.
blueprint that they thought they need
Yeah.
to transfer to me. But then I realized that that's really, it wasn't it. It was more. So that's kind of where my journey of entrepreneurship and spiritual awakening, so to speak, be more conscious, really started, which is now going to be 6 years.
But I just want to come back to you moving from Albania at the age of 15 is quite a crucial age as you're growing and becoming and finding your voice as a young woman. You suddenly move a country to completely different culture, different societal pressure. The expectations of a 15-year-old back home would be completely different to the one in New York. I mean, I am a Turkish girl. I know it can be quite tough, and that's very young age to move. How did you navigate the challenges when you face them? Because I'm sure there's so many people. And by the way, it doesn't matter what age you are, moving to another country to start a new life and start a new business, whatever. It is so tough and it has its own set of challenges, let alone being a business person. So how did you navigate through those challenges?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because I also think that transitions in life are scary, and they will stretch us out of our comfort zone. I think what worked for me is that even though it's a critical age where I was finding myself, and 15, I mean, I see my daughter now, she's 16, and it is critical.
Yeah.
You're looking for your own identity, you want to know who you are, and all of that. So I think, I wasn't even thinking about a lot of that, because the first thing I had to do, because I was the oldest child, is translate and start working right away. I had to still, I had to continue
The
school, and
early age, you took a responsibility of caring and looking after and making sure everybody was heard and how,
I
what a
became the
life
parent.
mission.
I became the parent I lived to my parents, because they had no connections, no language. So I was the main source for them to navigate a new country. I would translate all over the place. I would take care of my siblings. I even registered them for school. I became the parent at 15. So I
I
grew up.
just want to give you a hug. I just want to give you a hug. What a strong heart and personality you must have had to carry such big responsibility at that young age. It shows why you become the leader you are. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And
Beautiful.
I love that you said that, because that was the time that at that age I had to cope with a lot of different things, with putting my defenses up, or kind of not understanding how to navigate with no support, or and all of that. So,
Mm.
but I definitely, now looking back, I started solving problems so early, so that even in my company, the reason why I was successful is because I was a problem solver. I was just like, I was used to that. I'm like, there's
Focus is
no,
on the solution, not the problem. That's
right,
that's the tip.
exactly.
Note this if you are listening, note it. Focus on the solution.
So that's what kind of, even being an entrepreneur, our job description is really to solve problems. So I guess I trained my brain so early to look for problems and look for opportunities to solve them. So I became very resourceful very young. So
Beautiful.
it served me. Obviously, there was moments where I'm like, why me? Why do I have to? And I would look at people my age and I'm like, well, they are partying. Like I'm over here working, like being like a parent. Like I think I rebelled a little bit around that later on. Not that I did anything crazy, but there was still a feeling like unrealized teenage years, or I could have, been more carefree. I would have been more in my, world, trying to explore myself and all of that. But
Absolutely,
anyway,
but
that
you
was
must
my
have.
journey.
Yeah, but what I hear that you must have given this higher purpose, and you must have noticed and realized at early age, and you went on your own journey whilst you're actually keeping the family going. And now you have got 30,000 plus women, a family of women. I think there's male as well. It's not just women, is it? Am I correct?
Yeah, in my community, I would say demographic wise, it's going to be 85% women and also
Mm.
50% guys, because it's purpose driven entrepreneurship, and guys are waking up now too. So I love it. Because I've always
It's
been,
beautiful.
obviously, naturally, I will attract other women because I'm a woman and I understand the journey and the challenges that we overcome. But I believe in society as a complementary whole. So we have all humans, right? It doesn't matter what your gender is.
Mm,
We all bring in different things to the table,
mm,
complementary gifts that we can all leverage and learn
yeah.
from one another. So even though I was never a feminist, obviously I have my own causes personally that I think women obviously are rising. So I love that. The more women in leadership positions, because I work with both in the business space, business to business and business to consumer, I see a gap. A lot of CEOs in the business to business are guys, and then a lot of CEOs in the business to
We
consumer.
want to see more women in those
I want to
places.
bridge that gap. Yes. So
Yeah.
my mind just always got trained on gaps. And I also realized I'm a visionary. So I'm always a big picture person. So I connect the dots for fundamentals and big principles in business and life. And I just learned over my journey that became my gift, trained, born, all of it. So
Okay, that brings me, I mean, you are a confident woman. I can see that, and that's really inspiring. But what was your source of energy? How did you find the confidence and courage to move forward? What was your driving point? Because what I see in entrepreneurial world is that most women lack of confidence to start their business or scale their business or hire their first member of staff or start writing their book, and it's always this lack of confidence. And this is why I started my confidence leads to success interview series, just to share the stories and the experiences of successful leaders like yourself, to give them a beacon of light. So what was your drive? How did you find the confidence to move forward or make decisions?
I love your question, because at the end of the day, what stops humans from realizing their potential is the lack of confidence that we have in ourselves, because we have so many unlimited gifts inside of us. That I know. I tell people all the time, I'll find one big problem in the world that you can solve and one big talent you have inside. But just be aware that the more we do the inner work, the more you will start to unravel a lot of different things that you can do. So we're very gifted as humans, but I highly agree with women. Confidence is a thing. I think it's because of I don't want to go back to genetics, but I think I was born more with a masculine energy thing in me, because I think we have both masculine and feminine, right? Some of us have more of the one or another. I was always, even small, I was called the rebellious child, because if I wanted to do something and someone stopped me, if you wanted to stop me from doing something, just tell me I can't do it. So very early on, that was my biggest motivator. And my family uses it sometimes now too. My husband was like, man, you can't do that. I'm like, watch me. I don't know what it is about that. It just triggers me, and it just makes me not try to prove people, because I've done a lot of inner work that is more about what I said for myself. And I'm always in competition with my version of yesterday. I'm always staying in my lane. And I'm always, because growth is such an important thing to me. For me, it's always involvement. As long as I made progress, I am good and I'm taking action. And I learned along my journey to keep my own promises or promises. So the accent
When you have growth mindset, there's nothing stopping you. I think you,
right.
as a person, you had a growth mindset from day one.
Right, because I always wanted to learn. I was always this curious child. So a few things I was born with.
Curiosity,
I
that's
was always
it.
curious child. I'm always, that's why even my platform today is life a school, because life is a school. We're always learning. The more we learn,
Absolutely.
the more there is to learn. So being a life student is what keeps you, it's what rises your confidence, because you are proving to yourself daily that even the thing that maybe to me a year ago was a vision, today's reality. And who made that happen? Common denominator, me. So me keeping my promises, following what I say I will do, has built this confidence in me that, damn, I can do anything I set my mind to. And I think that's very, I'm not a unicorn. Those are just life practices, and anyone can do that for themselves as well. But I think, yeah, just to look back at some of the confidence part, I think it's being in a growth and learning mindset. And I just hate being limited, and someone limiting my freedom, and someone limiting, I was always a very, old soul, but very like exploratory. I want to be free. I want to be free to explore myself, my life. I only have one. So I'm not living by other people's expectations. So once I freed up a lot of that in me, I came to my core. So once you do a lot of inner
So what
work,
I'm hearing,
a lot
what
of
I'm
that.
hearing, you've done a lot of inner work. So you started with yourself, like you prioritize yourself before anything. And I think that opened up a lot of space for you so you could just do the amazing work that you're doing.
That's it. That's a secret. If we want a secret, go back to you and set some healthy boundaries. But that all comes with you removing a lot of old stories, removing a lot of old mindset beliefs, removing a lot of things that no longer serve you. But that comes with you having that clarity of the life that you want to lead, and have clarity on your values, and your values become your guiding compasses in life. And don't break those values, because it's like you're going against your own nature and character, and that hurts your confidence, because then you're lying to yourself. I mean, you probably could lie to other people, but when you are not in harmony with yourself, you are looking at yourself in the mirror daily, and that is going to transfer out, by the way, right?
Beautiful.
So
If
be true
you,
to yourself.
sorry, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, that was my final message: is be true to yourself, make your own promises, and just remove a lot of stories with the help of someone or yourself. There's so much now, there's so much opportunities to do that. But once you remove a lot of things that no longer serve you, and learn how to set healthy boundaries with yourself and others, you will have a lot of energy, and you will work. You're like the trunk of the tree. My logo in my company is a tree, because I feel like the individual is the trunk and the roots are deep. And when you do your work as an individual, then the tree goes around you. All the opportunities, the people, your business, your relationships, your money, your health, whatever other area, your parents, if
Beautiful.
you're a parent, always goes around you. And there's seasons to life of growth, right? Just like a tree, we have, autumn, we have spring. So we're not one thing, right? And we always are changing and evolving as human beings. And every season brings in new things to look at and new opportunities. And this life's work, this inner work, is not something you do once and you just, okay, I'm graduated, I got a certificate, and now I can, just say that I did the work. That's why I'm like, life is a school. Every day we're in school, right? We're learning, we're growing, we got studying, we got to stay curious, and we got to
But,
apply. Apply.
but what happens is a lot of people are afraid to move, like what you were suggesting, like don't if they're out of your value, if they're not aligning with you, just don't pay too much attention. Don't. But so many people have the scarcity around changing and moving and replacing. Like even if they are in an unhappy marriage, they find it really hard to move forward to the and say no or come to an end. Or if the business is definitely not doing them any money and not even fulfilling them, they're afraid to stop it because of the fear of what other people will think. What would be your last tip for them to not worry about that?
Well, that's the work they do have to do with their mindset, right? So you know, if that's how they're feeling in their relation, and I could so relate. That was me a couple of years ago. My marriage was not not doing well. I was always about blaming, was always about, well, I guess this is just my fate. This was like what I heard in my family,
So
like it's
don't blame.
women.
Ah, I love that. Don't blame anyone.
No,
Take
do not
responsibility.
blame. Take responsibility for that and figure out why you are thinking that, where it's coming from, so you can heal that. And I say don't make
Mm.
major decisions if you have all this noise and insecurity. I learned that very, very hard way, because a lot of times we make emotional decisions and then we
Yes.
regret them. Even if you're going to make
Yes.
a decision of divorce, I mean, obviously, if other circumstances are not there, like the abuse, those are obviously no, and you have to get out. Toxicity is always not a good thing. But if there is like things that you don't like that are minor in the marriage, like I would just like everything would trigger me because I have to do a lot of that.
Mhm.
Thank God I stayed. I hired a mentor, and I'm like, I have to figure out why I am, you know, feeling this way, what's causing all of this. And then what happened is that I shifted my whole relationship because I did my work. I shifted the whole
Mhm.
dynamic of the relationship. So that's the advice I
Beautiful.
would give if you are in a partnership. I think today, unfortunately, people are a little too fast to just quit
Mhm.
on things.
Yeah,
Do
they
your work,
do.
and you will know for sure. Once you do that, you'll have clarity. You'll know if this relationship is no longer serving me, and in this phase and stage of life, and we don't
Mhm.
align with where we're going, and you know, you want to separate that. And that's a conscious choice. Make sure our choices are conscious so we don't regret them. And they're coming out of clarity and the right reason. I think that's another thing that I learned, and I applied everywhere as well.
Beautiful. Your wisdom is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your experience and all that life changing stories with us. I'm really, really grateful for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to chat with you, Elif, and your audience. And yeah, I love sharing my message because I always find that our message needs to be shared because we become
Hmm.
the mirror for someone that might be needing to hear that at this moment. So
Yeah,
once we go through something, we have to pay it back and we have to share it with others. Maybe it's the responsibility feeling in me, being a responsible person and helping someone else. If I overcame something, I'm like, maybe there's more people that need what I
beautiful.
learned. So sharing is definitely caring.
Absolutely, because your story will be someone's survival guide.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many times that I was going through something hard and someone else shared it, and it just helped me, first of all, to heal my
That's
own
it.
things and, you know, figure
Mm.
out that there is support out there. Because I think a lot of times as women, I have to learn this as well, you know, because I had to do so much so early just all on my own. I'm like, well, I guess life is like this. I have no support. I'm figure it
Exactly.
out.
There's
But
this
support.
is why we've got these interview series because other stories has always helped me and guide me. So I'm so grateful that I'm able to bring like amazing entrepreneurs and leaders and authors across the globe to share theirs to remind all the listeners that you are not alone. We're here and we are all each other's guidance. And I'm so grateful, Elona, you shared your beautiful time and your gorgeous story. And I'm so looking forward to connect with you, hopefully in Turkey as well, when we're both there.
Absolutely. I love that. So thank you so much. And thank you for all you do to do this for other women, because the access to information today is amazing. And we will always find people that are going through something similar, or even people we aspire to. So I think that's important as well, because we don't want to stay in our pain. Once we figured it out, let's do something about it. Action.
Absolutely. Your mess will be your message, and you will help others to gain clarity and move forward. Thank you, Elona, and thank you everyone for listening. And I hope you found value. I truly enjoyed this conversation, and I hope to see you on my next interview. Thank you. Thanks, Elena.
Thank
Bye.
you.